A Montessori school is founded on two main principles. One, the philosophy of Maria Montessori, as it relates to guiding a child's cognitive, social, emotional, and physical growth. Two, a scientific pedagogy. Basically, that's just education based on scientific research and observations of children. These principles are combined and are commonly known as the Montessori method. In this video, you will see two age groups. The first one is the age from 1 year old to around 3 years old. This group is called the infant community. As you will see, the tasks and skills for this age group are demonstrated through the practical life area of the child's classroom, and a significant amount of time is spent doing activities that have a real-life purpose. Such tasks and skills are repeated daily by the children, so that over the first 6 months to a year of schooling, the children are mastering these important foundations of life skills. Young children explore and learn from their environment almost exclusively through their senses. Thus, the other important part of the infant community classroom are the materials and activities that enhance and refine the child's senses. If they primarily learn through their senses, then their learning will be enhanced too, if they can also develop their senses as well. Children learn to take great care of the classroom materials. Children are free to choose which materials they want to work with and choose a place to work, whether at a table or a mat on the floor. And when finished with them, to put the materials back on the shelf where they found them. Respect of nature and all living things is part of the Montessori philosophy. Developing the whole child, not just the academic part, is important. Feeding the classroom pets is an example of showing compassion and responsibility. Children learn that they are part of the classroom community and that cooperation and helping one another is a natural social function. The child does this naturally, without prompting or direction, and it is a characteristic of a Montessori classroom, as is the freedom to work alone and without interference. Taking care of the classroom plants is another way of bringing the wonderful world of nature into the classroom. Children do not find this kind of activity a chore. They concentrate on it and find it enjoyable. As Maria Montessori points out, a child who is concentrating is a happy child. So, why would a child choose to polish the floor? Well, because he has the freedom to choose whatever he wants to do. So, the natural state of the child is to explore, discover, and then repeat the activity whenever he feels like it. He does not view these kind of activities as we do. This is purposeful work, and thus it interests him. If it did not interest the child, he simply would not choose to do it. Montessori children assist in beautifying the classroom. Again, this is something that they enjoy. It is not forced work. And our children are never afraid of making a small mess. Adults do it all the time, and, like adults, it just means cleaning it up. The young child shows a need for structure and order, and this is demonstrated in the choreography of daily routines, such as the careful setting of the table. The child is showing the precision and focus that tells us she has mastered an activity that has real purpose. This skill, along with others that she will learn, when repeated and reinforced by herself, will last a lifetime. Another important Montessori principle is to never do for a child what the child is capable of doing for itself. Why would we want to intervene and peel the tangerine for the child? Why would we want to clean up for her? Why would we want to deny these children the opportunity of discovering for themselves what they are capable of doing? This is how children build self-confidence, through the realization of accomplishment. A Montessori tradition is to have fresh flowers every day to decorate our tables. The young children like being able to cut, arrange, and place the flower vases around the classroom. A household chore like cleaning windows is turned into a concentration that demonstrates the importance and the power of real-life activities to captivate the attention of the child. Working independently is one of the Montessori objectives. Children engage in activities which interest them, and without noise and distraction, and without interference from other children or the teacher. Children love books. Books in this bilingual classroom present the second language in an attractive way, and to which the children return many times. We see here that the child has learned to complete routine for flower arranging, beginning with removing the necessary materials on a tray from the shelf, obtaining the water, cutting and arranging the flowers, setting the vase on a doily, and then returning the materials and the tray to the shelf. Another ritual, which is a favorite of the children, is the eggshell peeling activity. The shell is finally removed, the egg is sliced, the shells have been deposited in the waste bin, and the accomplishment is crowned by the joy of sampling the fruits of the labor. The 3 to 6 year old class is called primary. Students who have graduated from the infant community can now expect to have their learning environment greatly expanded to include subjects like math, language, science, geography, and lots of time to refine the visual, auditory, tactile, gustatory, and olfactory senses with a much larger selection of sensorial materials. This period is marked by independent work and intense concentration. As Dr. Miriam Montessori said, the child who concentrates is extremely happy. Concrete representations of mathematic materials lay the groundwork for symbols and later abstraction. The use of the beads and the color help the child understand the concepts of quantity through both the visual and tactile senses. The routines learned previously about respecting the materials is demonstrated by the care the child takes in selecting materials and finding an independent workplace. This is because Montessori materials are not toys, but purposeful learning objects that are designed to engage the child's interest first and then produce the focus needed to complete the exercise. The Montessori materials have been designed to be self-correcting, meaning the child is capable of discovering an error and correcting it herself, without the interference of the teacher, which would disrupt the focus of the child, and also prevent the child from learning for herself. In this instance, the materials have exactly the correct amount of spindles to complete the exercise. So, if the child discovers she has not enough spindles to complete the section for 10, or has spindles left over, the child will realize that something is not correct and will proceed to do the exercise again and again. until she has successfully mastered it. The child's interest is initially sparked by the creative way in which concepts are being introduced. The trinomial cube here is not intended to impart higher mathematical concepts yet. The purpose is to help the child to find patterns and spatial relationships in this concrete representation of the trinomial formula, which is a plus b plus c cubed, which will be introduced in algebra later in the elementary class. Montessori has devised very interesting ways in which to introduce academic subjects such as geography to the child. The concentration here demonstrates the appeal of the materials as the child attempts to reconstruct the puzzle map of the United States, and will eventually go on to learn the names of all the states. Again, the combination of the visual and the tactile is used to create neural pathways in the child's brain and enhance the cognitive development of the child so that the child will be able to remember and recall all of this new information. In the 3 to 6 classroom, we see a continuation and refinement of practical life skills. The precise way in which the child has learned to work with materials is not robotic, but structured and organized. This is very important for the young child to be able to succeed at a skill and accomplish something that leads to heightened self-worth and self-confidence. In a Montessori classroom, great care is taken to ensure that children are given the tools to succeed. In short, a true Montessori classroom never lets a child fail. In this clip, the steps have been carried out to perfection to produce the desired result. The child who has accomplished something will understand how capable she is, and this confidence will enable her to seek out new challenges. She will move forward, continue to develop such practical skills, which in turn will give her confidence to explore and discover other subjects in the classroom. Refining motor skills is also an objective in the 3 to 6 class. Practicing a difficult eye-hand coordination exercise is challenging, but immensely rewarding for a child, as one can see from the concentration. Children happily learn early that something that needs to be done should be done well and to the best of one's ability. Whether cleaning dishes or building the pink tower, there is not just focus, but a critical review of what has been accomplished. This is a very important aspect of character development. Another important Montessori principle is grace and courtesy. In this instance, grace is demonstrated by the deliberate and calm way in which the child handles the materials. Children are gradually weaned from rushed and haphazard movements, resulting in graceful movements and patience. This is also a particularly important character development, especially in a world that seems to demand immediate gratification and an impatience to get things done. In this clip, we see the use of geometric forms, which are used by the child to refine drawing. There really is plenty of creativity in a Montessori classroom, and Maria Montessori was wise enough to develop basic drawing skills so that when the child mastered them, he or she could create something artistic for themselves. As the child develops, so does the skill. The focus and precision of movement is also the basis of self-discipline. Calmly constructing the trinomial cube is an example of what Montessori called normalization. This simply means the child has demonstrated the traits of concentration and patience, along with a desire to accomplish a task successfully. Children will continue to work with the same material again and again as they try to explore and discover more about it. The child has done this cylinder building many times and is still drawn back to it. Here, the movements are quicker as the child has gained a lot of confidence in his abilities from previous attempts. But the look of wonder and satisfaction at his accomplishment is the essence of the Montessori method, and this is an example of a typical Montessori moment. Language development in the 3 to 6 classroom is truly remarkable. Here the native Vietnamese speaking children explore English using the language materials created by Maria Montessori. One of these is the movable alphabet, with the consonants in blue and the vowels in red, because the approach to learning vocabulary and proper pronunciation is phonetic. In Montessori classrooms, it is often seen that children write in script before they start to read. Healthy and hygienic habits are important for children. In the Montessori classroom, we encourage children to take care of themselves and others. Washing, brushing teeth, toileting, and other health-related activities are learned early and provide the child with healthy habits that last a lifetime. In this clip, the attention to detail and the careful washing of dishes demonstrates the respect the child has for the health of his classmates as well as for his own. In a Montessori classroom, gender stereotypical activities are not supported. Boys and girls are supported to share the practical life duties, especially as care of oneself and one's classroom community benefits all. Such practical life skills are concrete steps towards a child's self-sufficiency and independence. To conclude, we quote from Dr. Maria Montessori. One test of the correctness of educational procedure is the happiness of the child.